Emirates benefit from their position, I would say, geographically, which put them, I would say, at the center of the new world. UAE is not a scoop as good resources when it comes to oil and gas, especially. So we are definitely structurally optimistic for the EAU. I'm sorry. So it means that the Emirates have some kind of comparative advantage when it comes to global trade because they can become, I would say, kind of connector countries, such as some Southeast Asian countries were previously. So it is typically a card to be played by the Emirates in the coming in the near future. From a pure relative value perspective, I would say they have some comparative advantage to deal with only because of these tariffs. AI, for sure, it's a completely disruptive technology, which will change plenty of things from productivity gains to labor scarcity, and which can, in my view, jeopardize our central scenario of stagflation going forward. But it will for sure be needed for AI to be widespread across the economy. For the time being, the adoption of AI within companies is fairly low, something like 15% of companies only in the US, and this rate is even lower in manufacturing and in construction. For now, it has changed the way we are all working in technical and scientific jobs. But for AI to completely change the world, it has to be more widespread across companies. We are a bit concerned about what's going on with the looming trade war, which is not looming, but it is already happening, and which can go even worse with foreign exchange rate manipulations now. So we still forecast the global economy to be above the recession threshold, which is assumed to be 2% at the global level. We still see some kind of slowing down with GDP growth expected for the time being at 2.4%. But once again, we have a huge downside linked to what's currently happening in the US. We might have a big downward revision coming soon in the US, for which a recession shouldn't be ruled out. The last figures that we have, hard data and confidence indicators suggest that Q1 and Q2 should be a bit disappointing. When it comes to Europe, we still expect a kind of stagnation before things, we hope, will go better in the near future because of what has already been announced by some countries, especially Germany. So all in all, we still expect the emerging markets to account for between 2/3 and 3/4 of global GDP growth in 2025. The same should hold for 2026. And all this despite the significant slowdown that we expect when it comes to China. This is the big question mark that we have. If global trade were to be significantly impacted by what's currently decided by the US administration, we should lower our GDP growth forecast. For the time being, we expect global trade to increase by something relatively similar to global GDP by 2% this year and probably 2% next year.